and get into some question and answer.
We do have a poll question open right now. Have you read Reference Manual 13145? And we do have 51 votes, but if everyone else wants to hop on and submit your vote, you can open the Slido poll on your screen or open it on your cell phone if you scanned the QR code earlier and answer that question. So we'll just give you a few more seconds there. Right now we have 36% said yes, we have read RM13145, and 62% said no. So there's a few more votes coming in, but the percentages are relatively the same. So let's move to the next poll question, which is, are you using Reference Manual 13145 as a guide for APQP and PPAP? So we'll give you a few seconds there to go ahead and submit your votes. Looks like we have a few coming in. There's 15 votes, 17 votes. We'll give you a few more seconds there so we can get some results, and we will share these results with you afterward. We'll send out a summary email and attach the polling results so you can see those later. So there's a few more votes coming in. Right now we have, it looks like 39% said yes, they are using Reference Manual 13145 as a guide, and 61% are saying no. So let's move on to our next poll question. How would you judge your knowledge of APQP? Go ahead and answer that poll question. There's a couple of options there. So we'll give you a minute to do that. Looks like we have about 35 votes. We'll give you a few more seconds there, but the overall results right now on how would you judge your knowledge of APQP, no knowledge, 2%, 54% said I know of it, but no experience of using it. 36% said I have used it a few times, and 7% I consider myself to be an expert. So let's move on to the next poll question. How would you judge your knowledge of PPAP? So we'll give you a few more seconds there to go ahead and answer that question. Looks like we have about 37 votes. A few more votes are coming in. So how would you judge your knowledge of PPAP? 3% said no knowledge. 40% said I know of it, but no experience using it. 43% said I have used it a few times. And 14% said I consider myself to be an expert. So those are some good results there. And then our next poll question, what additional topics would you like us to cover in future webinars? So if you want to go ahead and enter your answers there. If there are other things you would like us to cover other than APQP and PPAP, we would love to hear from you so that we can take those into consideration for future webinars. And note also on the AESQ website, we've run a number of webinars in the past year and a half, and we record all of them. So those videos and presentations are on the website for free viewing and reference whenever you want to take a look at those. I know there is a human factors one out there. There's a first article inspection and several others. So there's some good results coming in there. And let's make sure I think I missed one of the questions. So let me just double check real quick. One more question here for you. How well is your business in deploying APQP? So if you want to go ahead and answer that question real quick. There's some votes coming in. So we'll just give you a few more seconds to answer that question so we can get some good results to share with you. 25 votes. So how well is your business in deploying APQP? It looks like 3% said not capable and have no plan. 16% not capable but have a plan to facilitate capability. 8% capable and have no improvement plan to increase capability. And 67% capable and have an improvement plan to increase capability. So well done there. So that is the end of our polling questions. We will provide a summary of these polls to you in a follow-up email. So thank you for participating.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Magnus Holm and I work as a supplier quality systems lead at GKN Aerospace. I've worked in both the automotive and aerospace business for several years. And my main focus has always been product development and quality assurance in various roles. And I've been part of this team since 2021.
Yes, and my name is Åke Winkvist, also working within GKN Aerospace. I've been working with APQP and PPAP for 25 years, first in the automotive and now in the aerospace industry. This is really interesting to see how we're developing this material into the aerospace.
Yeah, we will not be able to cover all the questions in this webinar, but we will come back with answers on the AESQ website later on. But we will take a few questions. So here is one question that I would like to direct to Ken Hatcher. It's related to the relation between AS 9145 and AS 13100. So the question is summarized: do we need to implement AS 9145 plus AS 13100 plus RM 13145 to be compliant?
You gotta remember one thing, that's as of today, I mean, there's not a certification body to these particular standards, but in terms of, it would be good to be familiar with 9145, but if your focus is within the aerospace and, aerospace engine supplier group, you can just simply focus around the AS 13100, and therefore you would, it's basically the way to, I would almost compare it to, if your QMS is AS 9100, certified, you meet the ISO 9000 requirements, kind of the same thing. AS 13100 kind of complements 9145. So by meeting those requirements and the call outs within there, you'd be in compliance with 9145.
Yeah, so I guess the answer is that you need to look in both AS 9145 and AS 13100.
Yep.
You need to read them in parallel, so to say. Yeah. And next question, I think I would like to reach out to Dan for that one. It's related to raw material suppliers and PPAP. So the question is, do raw material non-first tier suppliers send the PPAP to the direct customer or the primes for approval? Would you like to comment on that, Daniel? Is with us? I guess he left.
We need to come back to that on the website, the AESQ website in that case.
Yeah, there is a table 1 in AS 13100 where you can see which requirement is applicable for which type of supplier. But we will come back on that one. Then a question that came up during Carl's presentation. So I will direct that one to you, Carl. And it's related to suppliers that work both in the engine business and the aerostructure business, so to say. Is there a roadmap to have only one APQP PPAP standard suitable for both aero engine and structural parts manufacturers? Paul?
So I'm trying to understand. I suppose I don't know enough about some of the structural parts, but the way I'm reading that is structural parts are looking at 9145, and then we're saying aero engine is at plus 13100. So my take on that is
that the question is, I think, if, you know, will they merge someday?
Yeah. So I think the first point to redraw on when we talk about requirements, if you remember what I was talking about, so there's a small amount of requirements 13100 is asking for on top of 9145. And one of the examples used is the use of submission levels as an example. So that's one point, is what's significant. Is there a significant difference in requirements? There actually isn't a significant difference in requirements. It's more about how you execute the practices that we're trying to promote around helping suppliers deliver that. The second piece on this is I am aware that 9145 is reviewing the standard at the moment, and I am aware from information I've seen that a lot of what 13100 is promoting is in consideration at the moment. I can't really comment anything more on that because that's really the sort of the communication that needs to come from the group leading 9145. If that's all right with everybody, I'm not trying to get out of that. I don't really want to talk on behalf of the group leading the standards. So key points for me is 13100 when we talk about APQP is only asking for a few more requirements. That's point number one. It's the bulk of everything is about the practices to enable you to achieve those requirements. And that we demonstrated quite a lot of those practices today, and we intend to do more in the future. In terms of 9145, I am aware that requirements accounted for within 13100 are in review and debate about adding those to 91, about adding those. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. So we have sort of questions, both very detailed questions related to maybe the application of certain tools, but we will come back with answers that on the website. But here is one question that I would like to, and I think that will be the final question that I would like to direct to Robert, just so I can understand it. It's related to the deliverables in phase 5. Are they followed as long as the production of the part continues, is the question.
Yep, yeah, I saw that in the chat. AS 9145 defines phase 5 as ongoing production, use, and post-service delivery. So just meeting the targets that were set out at the beginning of the program doesn't end phase 5. It continues on through use and post-delivery service. And the purpose is to continually look for opportunities to improve customer satisfaction, looking for cost reduction, looking for delivery improvement, variation reductions, whatever may be needed, constantly monitoring that, as well as to capture lessons learned to build into the next program cycle that you go through. So phase 5 is really open until end of product life cycle for the program to continually monitor and look for opportunities for improvement, both within that program as well as to feed back into the next APQP cycle for the next program.
Yeah, thank you. Just one final sort of comment that I mean, there are several subject matter interest groups within AESQ. So if you have very detailed questions around MSA or PFMEA, the best thing is really to approach that group for that particular tool because they are the experts on that. So with that, I will hand over to Åke for some closing comments.
Yes, thank you.
Next slide, maybe. I don't know if there is a last slide or not, but go on, Åke.
Yes, I think that's all for today's webinar. And on the AESQ website, there will be frequently asked questions that will be available, and we will update them in the next couple of weeks. There's also email address where you can send questions. So please do that. I think that was the end of today's webinar. And thank you all for participating. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.